Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Tonight we begin with a story of immense ambition, power, money, and water. Imagine a fleet of giant excavators poised to carve a new path through Nicaragua. A Chinese billionaire promised a canal 3 times longer than Panama's, a $50 billion gamble to reshape global trade. The plan: connect the Atlantic and Pacific right in America's strategic backyard. Headlines exploded. China was making a bold move in Central America. The project's leader, Wang Jing, had no canal experience, yet stood beside Nicaragua's President Ortega, promising prosperity. The plan was audacious, almost science fiction, a new wonder of the world. This wasn't just a waterway, it was a declaration of a new global power. The world watched, wondering, new economic age or geopolitical power play? In Managua, hope and fear collided. Some dreamed of jobs and a transformed nation. Others feared land loss and environmental disaster, especially for Lake Nicaragua. In Washington, alarm bells rang. A Chinese canal in the U.S. sphere was a strategic nightmare. The groundbreaking was full of pomp, flags, and speeches. The message: this was happening. But as the dust settled, questions mounted. Who was Wang Jing? Where was the money coming from? What did China really want? The Nicaragua Canal became a gripping drama of ambition, resistance, and global politics. It was a story of hope for some and dread for others. The world's eyes were fixed on Nicaragua, waiting to see if this dream would become reality. For a moment, it seemed the nation's future was about to be rewritten. But beneath the surface, uncertainty and suspicion simmered. The stakes were enormous, for Nicaragua, for China, and for the world. And so began one of the most audacious infrastructure gambles of the 21st century. The plan was breathtaking: a $50 billion canal, more than 4 times Nicaragua's annual GDP. Wang Jing, a Chinese billionaire, fronted the project through HKND, but many saw China's shadow behind him. The canal would stretch 173 miles, slicing through rainforests, farmland, and Lake Nicaragua. It was designed to be wider and deeper than Panama's, able to handle the world's largest ships. The vision included 2 deep-water ports, a new airport, free trade zones, and supporting infrastructure. Ortega's government promised jobs, doubled GDP, and a leap out of poverty. But the details were murky. The 50-year concession to HKND was shrouded in secrecy. HKND could expropriate land at will, with little public debate or input. Critics questioned why so much power was handed to a foreign company. The dazzling vision began to look like a high-risk gamble with Nicaragua's sovereignty. The project's scale was matched only by the uncertainty surrounding it. Was this a path to prosperity, or a dangerous leap into the unknown? To grasp Nicaragua's ambition, you must understand the Panama Canal's limits. For a century, Panama's canal was the world's shipping shortcut, a symbol of American power. But shipping changed. Today's supertankers and massive container ships outgrew even Panama's expanded locks. The largest vessels still can't fit, creating a market for a bigger, deeper canal. Nicaragua's wide lake and rivers had long tempted engineers, but instability and challenges kept the dream dormant. With Chinese backing, the old idea was reborn: a canal to eclipse Panama's, built for the world's biggest ships. A second canal would create competition, lower fees, and offer a crucial alternative if Panama ever closed. For China and global shipping, redundancy meant security. The Nicaragua Canal was a direct challenge, one that could shift the balance of global trade. It was a bold move, promising to make Panama's canal obsolete for the largest players. The stakes were global, and the rivalry was set. The world's supply chains hung in the balance. The question: could Nicaragua deliver where others had failed? The canal was more than a waterway. It was a national development plan. 2 massive ports, a major airport, and a free trade zone were promised to transform Nicaragua into a logistics hub. The government claimed the project would create tens of thousands of jobs and double the country's GDP. For one of the hemisphere's poorest nations, the promises were irresistible. New schools, hospitals, and roads were dangled as the fruits of canal wealth. But the $50 billion cost meant total reliance on Chinese partners. HKND's century-long concession raised fears. Would prosperity reach the people, or just enrich foreign investors and elites? The dream of building a nation's future from scratch came with the risk of losing control over that very future. The canal was a geopolitical move as much as an economic one. For China, securing trade routes is vital. Much of its commerce passes through the US-built Panama Canal, a strategic vulnerability. A new canal would give China influence and independence in America's backyard. It was a bold challenge to US dominance in the region. Shipping companies also wanted competition to lower costs and reduce congestion. The canal's size promised economies of scale, changing global shipping. China's strategic goals and industry's needs aligned, fueling momentum. This was about more than one billionaire's dream. It was about reshaping global power. The canal divided Nicaragua. Hope for prosperity clashed with fear of loss. Tens of thousands faced eviction. Compensation was meager, fueling anger. Law 840 gave HKND sweeping powers to seize land, sparking a protest movement. Farmers, indigenous groups, and activists marched, accusing Ortega of selling out the nation. The government cracked down, deepening resentment. The canal threatened not just land, but identity and heritage, especially for indigenous communities. Instead of uniting the nation, the project tore it apart. Lake Nicaragua, Central America's largest freshwater source, was at the heart of the environmental battle. The canal's route required dredging a massive channel, risking toxic sediment, pollution, and invasive species. Saltwater intrusion threatened to ruin the lake for drinking and farming. The canal would also cut through rainforests and reserves, destroying habitats for rare species. Scientists called it the region's greatest ecological threat. The environmental review was rushed and secretive, fueling outrage. Activists, scientists, and locals united to defend their land and water. The looming catastrophe became a rallying cry against the project. The canal's grand launch in 2014 was followed by silence. The promised machinery and jobs never arrived. Construction stalled. Wang Jing's fortune collapsed in China's stock market crash, and investors vanished. The project's secrecy, environmental risks, and Nicaragua's unrest scared off global finance. China quietly distanced itself, focusing on less controversial projects. The canal became a ghost. HKND's offices closed, its website vanished. Law 840 still haunts farmers, but the project is dead. The dream left behind division, mistrust, and anxiety. For many, the collapse was anticlimactic, a dramatic saga ending in silence. The canal that promised everything delivered only uncertainty. The ghost of the Nicaragua Canal offers powerful lessons. Mega projects need transparency, science, and public consent, not secret deals and rushed studies. The canal's failure showed the limits of money and ambition when faced with environmental and grassroots resistance. For China, it was a lesson in the costs of aggressive expansion. For Nicaragua, it exposed the dangers of ceding control to foreign interests. Yet, the resistance movement proved ordinary people could defend their land and rights. The story is a fable of hubris and ambition, where nature and people prevailed. Lake Nicaragua remains untouched. The rainforests still stand. The unbuilt canal is a monument, not to what was built, but to what was saved. In the end, it's a lesson written in water, earth, and the human spirit.